going on, guys? It's Infinite here. I just want to preference this series, Mixing Rap Vocals, by saying that actually a lot of these videos ended up becoming a little bit more than 5 minutes, maybe 5.5 to 7 minutes. And that's the way it worked. I didn't want to limit the amount of information and knowledge I shared. And so I decided to let these be a little bit longer than I wanted in order to share more stuff. So just a fair warning. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Infinite here on 5 Minutes or Less. I'm gonna hop right into it. So today we're talking cleaning up rap vocals. So the first thing you can see, I've already named and color coded my audio not only in the mixer but also in the playlist. The way you do that is you just right click, rename, color, and there you go. And then you just right click and you can match it. And then the way you would assign this to a mixer channel is you double click the audio and then right here, track, and it actually highlights for you so you can see where you're at. So this is my verse vocal, and it's on verse vocal. So right away, when you're editing a vocal, the first thing you want to do is you want to get rid of any sort of noise before the vocal that's just not needed, or even after. In this case, it's before. So obviously there's that big breath, you can hear a little bit of background noise. So if you hold Alt inside FL Studio, you are able to drag to any length, and you can get right before, where all of a sudden you don't hear anything before. And you can see this little crossfade I have here. The way you get that is double click the audio and then declicking mode. I like generic mode for a tight edit like this. What it's doing is it's doing a crossfade basically. So it's saying, hey, wherever I drag this clip to, take it from completely silent all the way to full blast in that amount of time. So generic's really good for a tight edit. You can see crossfade would be a little too long for this cut. So yeah, there you go. Now we're not going to hear any sort of pop or sounds when the audio comes in. It's just going to sound a lot smoother. It's like the edit wasn't really there. So next thing we're going to do is what's called a gate. A gate is just that, okay? Any sound that's below the gate height, you can think of it like this, can't get over the gate, and therefore we won't hear it. So in my case, I set this up as if I didn't want to do this edit. Let's say I just wanted to let this silence be here. Let's say like maybe over here where there's some silence, you can hear some unneeded sound. You'd throw a gate on. And so here it is without the gate. Okay, here it is with the gate. Right, you don't hear anything. And another cool thing to notice is gate open and gate close. Not every plugin has this. This is the stock gate from Waves. But gate open says, hey, if the volume's below the gate, don't open the gate, don't let audio in until it gets to negative 35 decibels, which is going to vary depending on the level of your audio. You're just going to have to feel it out and see where that's at. And gate close says, hey, once we've allowed audio in and we're listening to audio, don't close the gate or cut off the audio until it gets below negative 40. The reason you do this is, let's say like, you know, you have breaths or some foot noise before the rapper comes in, so you don't want that. But when the rapper's rapping, you don't want his vocal to keep cutting because it's dropping below the gate. So you do that close a little lower. It gives you a little bit of breathing room so you can have more of a dynamic performance and not some weird pulsy dropout. The next thing comes to cleaning up a vocal is definitely EQ. So EQ basically is adjusting the volume at specific frequencies. So here's a Q6 EQ from Waves. As you can see, one thing I want to notice is I'm using mono. And if you notice, all the plugins on the vocals right now are mono. And most things you're going to record, especially vocally, are going to be mono signals, meaning that the left and right are the exact same. It's really just one signal of audio coming through. In certain cases, like a stereo guitar, or like this beat is in stereo, you'd want to use the stereo version of a plugin. Now, if they don't specify, the plugin's probably already stereo. That's just some side knowledge. So the first thing I do with a vocal is I always roll off the low end, whether there's noise there or not. You want to get in a good habit of it. You just clean it up, get rid of unwanted noise. Let me quick scoot this back. Okay. So yeah, so I roll off all that low end, you know, any sort of unneeded frequencies, maybe a car drove by, who knows. So you roll that all off, gets it a little cleaner. And then here I'll show you there's just some boominess or some weird sound in the room that just didn't sound pleasing, and that's normally going to be around 500, which you see right here on number 4. But I'm going to show you the boominess first. It's actually track 5, right at 245. So here it is with the boominess enhanced. Coming with the flow like yo dog chilled. So you can just kind of hear this weird hollow sound. So I cut that out, just a little edit with a tight Q. Q is how wide or narrow it's going to affect the frequencies. So you can see that as I'm adjusting that. And then number 4,
Coming with the flow like yo dog chill.
again, just an unattractive sound. And then down here I did another dip and then a boost up top. And so real quick, here it is and the boost was to really brighten out his vocal, to help it come through a lot cleaner, a lot nicer, and a lot more prominent. And then this was just another kind of funny sounding frequency. And sometimes you just gotta hunt for those. Sometimes you just gotta, click on the audio, click and drag while you're playing your song, and you'll hear the weird spot and then cut it out. So again, here is the vocal without EQ.
Coming with the flow like yo dog chill. This the reason I'm alive and I'm feeling straight privileged.
And here it is with EQ.
Coming with the flow like yo dog chill. This the reason I'm alive and I'm feeling straight privileged.
So a lot cleaner, a lot more prominent. Let's hear that with the beat. Because by the way, even though I showed you this in solo, I didn't mix it in solo. You never want to mix in solo because you want to mix in reference, right? The listener's never going to hear just your vocals. They're going to hear the vocals with the beat and everything. And so that's how you should be mixing, to make sure that you're making the right decisions. Because what might sound good in solo might sound awful in the full mix, and vice versa.
Coming with the flow like yo dog chill.
So this is with the EQ.
Coming with the flow like yo dog chill. This the reason I'm alive and I'm feeling straight privileged.
No EQ.
Life full of love from above, bring 'em real here, so please join the movement, cause I could really feel this.
EQ.
Yeah, I could really feel this. Yeah, I could really feel this. Yeah,
No EQ.
yeah, I could really feel this. Yeah.
So you can just see it gets a little muffled when there's no EQ.